Good afternoon from Trinity Episcopal Church.
Hey there.
In Everett, my hometown. This is a Celtic live stream, viral video, if you want to call it.
Is that a good taste?
You know better than to ask that from me. My name is Henry Lebedinsky, and I'm here with the amazing, wonderful, great, definitely above average, Brandon Vance.
I strive for above average.
Fiddler extraordinaire. I mean, I always call him like a fabulous Scottish fiddler. But you know, does anybody introduce himself? Yeah, my name is Henry Lebedinsky, an above average Celtic guitarist, at least locally speaking.
Actually, some days, I wonder.
Yeah, really, exactly.
Look at myself in the mirror and I wonder about life and who I am. Sorry.
Yeah. So as you see, we're keeping a safe physical separation distance here.
Very
we're
safe.
We're going to, yeah.
And this is also very good. This kills coronavirus as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. It is above the level of alcohol required to kill all germs. See, that's why nobody ever talks about that Scottish virus, right? Right, if you want to be racist and talk about where the virus comes from, you're never going to talk about that Scottish virus because we know how to take care of them over there. Anyway, moving right along. Okay then. So we're just going to play you some tunes. We're going to keep it light and keep it fun here with music from Ireland and Scotland. This joy of traditional music, I think, you know, in this period of social isolation, I think we could all use just a little bit more fun and joy. So if you're watching this at home, feel free to get up and dance. Feel free to dance in your chair. Feel free to sit down and dance. I really don't care. I just hope that you have half as much fun listening as we do playing this.
You got dangerously close to the 5 foot
mark
there.
I'm gonna move over here. Right? Does anyone have some sanitizer for my guitar?
I won't spit on it, I promise.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, here we go.
silence. The imaginary applause.
We have a fan.
Thank you, music lover. I used to play down at a pub in Charlotte, North Carolina called Rera, and that was our mandolin player's running joke. You know, we'd have a pub full of people, and one of them was paying attention to the band. And he would always go, "Thank you, music lover."
In a lot of ways, not much has changed. We got rid of all the rest of the extras.
Right. So what we have here is we have the distilled. Right. This is the distillation of the pub experience. Right. We've got the whiskey.
We got the whiskey. It's distilled.
Right. Okay. It's distilled. Right.
There's many distillations involved.
Yeah. No, I think this social distancing, and I mean it's antisocial distancing. I don't know what you want to call it, physical distancing. But one of the things that one of the memories that I just hold dearest in my entire life, when I lived in outside of Boston, in Salem, Massachusetts, back in the late 90s and early 2000s. O'Neill's Pub was really the public house. It was that neighborhood pub experience. It was amazing because you would have, of course, down in the Boston area, so many people from Ireland, but you'd have Irish Americans and Irish immigrants and people visiting their family in America. You'd have this pub full of people richly connected to this Irish culture, and they'd be eating and drinking, and there would be kids running all over the place. The joke with the band was on Sunday afternoons we called it O'Neill's Pub and Daycare. And the Irish session was run by Larry Young, my good friend Larry Young, and his guitar playing friend Johnny Rockwell, and I sat in fairly frequently, and we just all had such a good time singing songs and playing tunes and just watching all these kids run around. You'd have Irish dancers dancing in the aisles, the waiters having to clear out of the way as you'd have a line of Irish dancers practicing their steps in the middle of the pub. It was just glorious.
Oh, that's a good way to spend a Sunday, I'd say. Well, that reminds me, there's a place here in Seattle that's very much a similar place for me, and that's Sean O'Donnell's. So amazing sessions on Wednesday nights. Once we get out all this, because there will be an after.
There will be an after, and the music will rise, and it will just be glorious, and it'll just.
Indeed. So, in any case,
shout out to Sean O'Donnell.
That's right. Everett location is still doing pickup, by the way. So that's a little plug for the pickup and delivery. I think they might be doing delivery, but they're definitely doing pickup. Just go to their website. There you go.
And those ribs, what do they do? Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know what they do with them, but yeah, it's magic
glorious.
Sauce.
It's glorious.
Everything there is glorious, including the people. All right. Sorry, I'm getting all emotional now. Happens from time to time.
It does.
I'm a very emotional person.
Makes up for me.
The Celts are in touch with their emotions. Let's just put it that way. They should be.
What are we going to do?
It's regale them with our emotions.
Oh, yes. You're actually just going to sit here and watch us tell stories about food for the next hour and a half.
Because we're very hungry.
Yes. Pubs in which we've eaten and drank. Episode 34.
You know what? The thing is that people are probably finding that pretty entertaining. All right, so Bronne de Chavon. Let's do something French now that we've done, spent a lot of time in exactly one set.
Right.
In Ireland. Yeah. We'll go to France.
It's a Bronne.
Oh, Bronne.
The S is silent. It's one of the. It's from Old French.
See, he knows more French than I do. I'm not very good. Even though I have apparently, according to my ancestry, I have a lot of French in my family. So. I think it's mostly Norman, though.
I've been to France.
I've never been there, but this one's called Bronne, as he correctly pronounced. Bronne de Chavon. It's something about a horse.
Cheval is a horse. Cheval.
It's multiple horses. This is about a lot of horses. Yes, there are a lot of them, and they're all dancing in a circle. It's an old medieval circle dance, guys. You're gonna enjoy it. We got applause for that one. Right on. They like the French music. We all like the French, right?
Absolument.
Absolument. Absolument, définitivement. See, I know those two words.
That's a good start.
That's a good start. Let's go back to the British Isles, across the channel again. Because, northern France, Brittany, is very Celtic. And in fact, the name itself refers to the Britons, which were exiled when the Anglo-Saxons invaded. So we call it England because of the Anglo-Saxons. They invaded, they pushed out and killed a lot of Britons, but the ones who survived ended up in northern France, and they have their own language and their own culture, and it's all very Celtic. So this is a Celtic live stream, not just a Scottish, not just an Irish. It's Celtic.
We highly recommend that you, if you're interested in the history of this period, I highly recommend that you watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which, while not strictly a historical film, does have quite a few sheep in it.
There are quite a few sheep, which is accurate. That's a huge part of the history,
Okay,
actually.
so trivia, Brandon. How many horses appeared in Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Ooh. That's trivia that how many?
Yes, how many horses? How many horses?
Exactly
appeared in
zero.
Monty
It's a trick question. Zero.
It is a trick question, but that's still the wrong answer.
It's even trickier than the trickiest trick
Yes,
questions.
yes, it's really.
I should know coming from you.
Only one horse.
One horse, and who is it?
One horse, and that was the horse that briefly rode across the screen, and the knight upon the horse slashed the throat of the eminent historian.
Eminent.
Eminent.
Unknown but eminent.
Yes. See, I think that's going to be my lot in life. That's going to be my ultimate achievement. Is I'm going to be that eminent historian that is on the screen for 15 seconds before my throat gets cut by the only horse in the entire movie, and people are going to remember the horse.
Right, we don't remember that historian. No,
Never.
we don't.
Never.
This was the battlefield of the...
Yeah, exactly like that. So speaking of dead historians, this is probably going to be the first of many times that we are going to say that this live stream is brought to you by Brandon Vance and Henry Lebedinsky.
That's us.
And we are a very small sampling of the freelance musicians across the country and across the world whose livelihoods have been severely impacted by the necessary restrictions we've had to take to curb the spread of the coronavirus. So this is just one small way, and we are so grateful to the Reverend Rachel Tabor Hamilton and the wonderful people here at Trinity Episcopal Church in Everett to make this possible. But if you are so inclined and you are so able as to give us a wee donation to cover the lack of work that we are unfortunately all stuck with right now, there are links down below in the YouTube field, the comments, I think they're called. See, I'm such a technical nitwit. I'm a Gen Xer, but sometimes I feel like a baby boomer. It's like, how do you do this? No coughing. No coughing.
We don't have any of that.
No, we're
That's
healthy.
fine. We're all fine.
Yes, we took our temperatures before we came here.
That's right. And a good dose of whiskey.
Yes, mine said 57 degrees Fahrenheit, so apparently I look pretty good for being dead for about 10 hours. Okay, want some more tunes?
How about some more tunes on that chipper note? And do you want to do a song or do you want to do some more jigs? How about some jigs?
Let's do some jigs.
Wandering Minstrel, etc. Yeah, all those. I'm going to throw a little D-mix in there, just to mix it up.
Just to mix it up?
Mix it up. Okay, 1, 2, This one. So those were Irish jigs.
Yes, Brandon is a Scottish fiddler. He debases himself about once a week, maybe twice, and delves into the world of Irish music.
Oh dear!
Yes.
I hope that's not how people think about it.
And I'm coming from the Irish tradition. A couple times a week, I get out of my comfort zone and go over my head and try to suffer my way through Scottish music.
You're so humble. You're such a humble man. Okay,
It's not me,
so
it's the whiskey.
what are we doing now? Are we gonna do some? Are you gonna
Sing something.
Right? Oh, we're gonna sing something.
You're
That's
so good at
a good idea. Okay, so this is a song, and it's gonna be in the key of our favorite key,
The people's key.
the people's key. So this one is actually a tune. The tune is a Scottish tune. It's called the Mingulay Boat Song, and the lyrics were written by Tom McKeown, who was a Connemara poet, a Gaelic poet. In Ireland, they would say Gaelge or Goilge, I believe is how they say it. But in any case, it's all Irish and Gaelge. Those are just different names for the same language. But he was a poet from Connemara that wrote in the language, in the Irish language, and this song became so popular that it made its way over to the Gaeltacht in Scotland, and they translated the Irish Gaelic into Scots Gaelic. So this has been around, so the tune, this comes from Scotland, went to Ireland, and then did full circle back to Scotland again, and that's what I'm singing you. So this is a great example of the strength of the Gaeltacht when it comes to art and music.
And it carries through in landscapes and whatnot. Mm-hmm. If you like Scotland, go to Connemara in Ireland. It's the most Scottish-looking part of the country.
Yeah. And then there's Donegal too, because people forget that the Jacobites, when they got defeated, some of them escaped to Donegal. So that there's a long history of Scots, quote Scots, living in Donegal, and the music is really interesting because of that. So Connemara, Donegal, that whole area is just beautiful, and there's a lot of crossover, a lot of friendly interactions and collaborations throughout history. And it's not highlighted enough. I don't think we highlight enough about it when people actually get along.
Well, there were
so
migrations, just economic migrations.
Yes, and actually went both ways,
century.
exactly. So the Irish from Donegal used to go, and they still do to a certain degree, to Glasgow. There's a lot of Donegal people that end up going back and forth for work.
There's a great song called "When the Green Crosses Over to Meet with the Blue." And it's about the Irish from County Donegal going over to Glasgow to find work.
That's right. So it went both ways.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. There was they got the Jacobites escaping initially, way back in the 18th century, and then more recently, the people going from Donegal back to Glasgow. So there's obviously there was a lot of friendly. Whenever there's friendliness, there's intermarriage and children and things. So that's all good. It's all good. I love that. I love peace. Peace is so cool. All right. And so is music. So let's do this song. I'm going to give you just a brief synopsis of the plot. There's really not much to it. It's a broken heart. This guy's got a really bad case of the broken heart. So he's singing about this girl that he's probably never going to see again. And he thinks about her in the morning when he gets up. It's really sad. It's not like a good kind of thinking about a girl when you get up. It's the other kind. All right, it's here. It hurts. Okay, here we go. Na vlastnym roz, gni Isminam hunnar Shishin hanuar Asmo amafron Imismunchen Et hadinu asa Ayimik vuamsa Saharain valyon Say, they say it in different ways. Nobody in Ireland's going to understand it and be like, well, I don't know, he's from Connemara, we don't say that where we're from. That's not how we say it. It's the beautiful thing about Gaelic is that it's just so colorful. It's just every county has their own color of it, and it's beautiful and sad at the same time because a lot of that's dying away, alas and alack. It also has hope and future in different ways. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm an optimist, though. You know that.
You are one of the most optimistic people I know.
Stupid maybe. I can't help it. That's what I do. I make music. And all right. So you want to do some? We already did this song. We can't do another song. Let's do some more reels, but we'll start with a slow one.
Sure.
How about some Scottish reels?
If you insist.
Okay. We just worked this one up today. Well, half of it you already knew, but we worked the first tune up today. Right? Actually, the first and the second tune, right?
Something like that.
Third tune. Fourth tune. Whatever. We're going to play a lot of tunes, buddy, okay? This one's called the Hotten House, or the Ochten House. Depending on which, street you live on in Aberdeen. Once again, that's not how I see it. But and it's also popular. It became popular in Shetland, so it's known as a Shetland tune. And then it went over to Ireland. We're doing a lot of this back and forth. It's a pattern. Joey Ryan, great fiddler, has a recording of this tune, and he kind of popularized the Scottish tune in Ireland as a barn dance, because when the Irish get their hands on Scottish tunes, they just have to make them into barn dances, it seems like.
What does an Irishman do with a strathspey?
Right? I know, a barn dance, it's fun. You shave off all the edges, basically, like...
Hibernicized.
Hibernicized.
Add some green rolling hills,
Right.
Take out the crags and the sheep.
That's
add
right.
some green rolling hills and some sheep.
And some sheep. Sheep bring us all together, don't they?
Amen. The great unifier.
1, 2, 3. called a dismissal. Does that mean we're taking a break? A wee break?
A wee breaky. I think so.
All right, we're going to make a quick announcement before we take a break, and then we'll be back. Just about 10 minutes. No, not too long.
And before they break, I just want to share with you that it's really easy to donate to these very fine musicians. If you go to www.trinityeverett, all one word, trinityeverett, 2 T's, .org. When you go there, you'll be navigated to our Trinity Everett webpage. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a donate button. Just poke on that donate button. You'll be guided to a donation page, and the very first thing on that page is for our Celtic Concert Musicians Fund. 100% of whatever you donate will go to these two very fine gentlemen who are helping us enjoy and celebrate in a time where we so much need it as a community. Thank you for being with us. We're a proud sponsor. Don't go away, but try to give a donation if you can. Thank you.
we're back, more or less. Several degrees of back. I want to play a little something.
I think we should sing a tune. How about we sing some Gallic? Some more Gallic.
Okay.
So this is a set I love to sing with my friends Rich Hill and Cameron Stahl. But they're not able to be with us for a variety of reasons, especially Cameron, because he's not feeling too well these days. But he's getting better. We're in touch. He's on the mend. So, in any case, this is going to be. If you want to get your drum, you can get your drum out if you want. The bow drum. By the way, it's not a bow drum. Just so you know, there's no region of Ireland or Scotland where they say bow drum.
Yes, there is. There's a pub in Doolin filled with Americans. That's where they say.
Oh, that's right. It's the Temple Bar.
Whoa. Let's go to the crane.
Okay, well, legit. So I'll talk about it for just a second. This is what we call Gaelic mouth music from the Hebrides, which are the islands just in between Scotland and Ireland. There's actually quite a large archipelago of islands in between Scotland and Ireland. And that was basically, historically, has been the seat of the Dalmatian Empire, if you want to call it that. I'll call it a kingdom. It's not really an empire. Yeah. Well,
It's more like a gathering.
It's more like a gathering, if you will.
It's more like a small party.
It's only Katie, okay?
Actually, his name's Gareth.
But they all came from Ireland in the first place, so there you have it. The Scots themselves, if people are confused about Scottish culture, it's understandable because the Scots are confused about Scottish culture. The fact of the matter is that if you're really far west in the islands, you're closer to Irish. You're in sort of like heritage, not culturally speaking, but as far as heritage is concerned, because the Scots that settled the Hebrides came directly from Ireland. And so this is one of those songs from that area, which is very, very heavy. We call it the Gaeltacht, okay? So the Gaeltacht is anybody from Ireland or Scotland, even England. There's a few of them there, you know.
That's how they talked.
They talked, the Gaeltacht, okay. So anyhow, I'm just going to sing you this song, because you don't want to hear this stuff anymore. You really don't. So the first one's called Abiska Hu the Nullagora, which means who put the drunkenness on us last Christmas. I'm not making that.
We've been still recovering.
But we don't have coronavirus. We're still recovering from our hangover. It lasts until Easter, I'm pretty sure. Anyhow.
Something needs to get us through the cold weather.
That's right. So in any case, who put the drunkenness on us? Who did that to us? Oh my goodness. That's actually, it's very tongue-in-cheek. The song is very tongue-in-cheek. And then we're going to tongue-in-cheek. It's actually tongue-in-cheek. You promised to be clean, Henry. You promised.
I didn't say we're part of the sheep.
All right. So anyhow, moving on. The next one is going to be is a tune called Callum Krubach. Callum Krubach means lame Callum, or Callum with the bum leg. Callum Krubach, and that actually the entire song is about sheep and goats too. We added goats. All right, we added the goats. This is about. It says, Callum, go get the sheep, and go get the goats too. And that's the entire song. So the next song is called The Black Mill, Moulin Dew, and that is just about a black mill.
I'll say this in goat skin.
There you go, goats.
Yeah, so there you go.
There's goats and sheep.
Yeah. So if you're ever in Ireland and you know the goats are wise to this. So if anybody goes out to the goat pen and says, "Hey Billy, you want to be in a band?" They run the other way.
Oh, but okay, we're done with the off color. Well, that's not off color, is it?
I had to have something that was not off color.
Right. Well done. I'm actually very proud of Henry for coming up with that one. It's very clean. All right.
It's been almost an hour and I haven't dropped the F-bomb. I consider that an achievement.
It's an achievement. Well done. And in a church, no, it's okay. So anyhow, although this is an Episcopal church, so I feel okay. All right. Anyhow, did I say that out loud? I don't know what I just said. Anyhow, I'm gonna sing some Gaelic for you right there. Here we go. Oh, here I go. There it comes.
Haven't you tuned that thing already?
Here we go. Here's the one. This is the key. I like this one. Ah, viske for the nalakaran, haroji dali, viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam, viske for the nalakaran, haroji dali, viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam. Haigli haldi, kofi the nalakaran, haigli haldi, kogavach daushno, haigli haldi, kofi the nalakaran, viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam, viske for the nalakaran. Haroji dali hara viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam, viske for the nalakaran, haroji dali hara viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam. Haigli haldi, kofi the nalakaran, haigli haldi, kogavach daushno, haigli haldi, kofi the nalakaran, viske for the nalakaran, hakudish kalam. Thank you very much. Woo-hoo. So that last tune was actually called Ale is Dear, and I'm sure there's a porch to that. I'm sure there's words to that somewhere. I just don't know them. But a lot of these songs, a lot of these old reels that are Gaelic from Scotland specifically, they're very short. They're about half the length of your average reel. Like instead of 32 bars, for instance, they're 16 bars, and a lot of them either started as songs or they were tunes that got adapted by singers later. There's a lot of those because what happened, of course, not to get too far into the history, but it's important, I think, to realize that for a long time, instrumental music was banned by the church. And it wasn't the Episcopals. It wasn't the Episcopals. I believe it was the Presbyterians. But there's lots of good Presbyterians too. This was the other Presbyterians.
4.
So there was some. This is ancient history, my friends. Ancient history. Let bygones be bygones. We're talking about 300 years ago or whatever it was.
Well, what my wife was brought up Scots. She's Scots.
She's Presbyterian. There you go.
And when she converted to Episcopalianism, she's now an Episcopal priest. But when she converted, her grandmother had to stage an intervention.
Oh my goodness!
She brought her grandmother from Edinburgh. She got all her siblings together and sat down and says, "The Kirk of England, why? What have they ever brought us except oppression?" I can't do it. Yeah,
you're pretty accurate. But we're not here to talk politics and religion. We're here to play music for you. So there you have it. Well, that I always say that the way that it's a complicated history. Let's put it that way. But the point of the matter is that in the Hebrides, in any case, they weren't very nice at times. Especially to Gaelic-speaking, the Gaeltacht there, and so they had this is probably a regional, isolated thing, but in any case, there was the reason that mouth music became a thing. The reason I'm talking about it is because that's why mouth music became a thing. It's because of the banning of things that were Scottish by the English, by the English, and the Presbyterian Church said no dancing too, because dancing leads to hands.
Well, there's a great Scottish joke about the Scots Presbyterian. So a dour Presbyterian minister ascended the pulpit in his church, and he looked down upon his flock, and he said, "It has come to my attention that certain members of this congregation have been making love standing up. This is to cease immediately, as it could lead to dancing."
That's the joke. Yeah, and it's based in this history that I'm telling you.
It's based on the truth. Yeah.
It's based on the truth.
All of these have,
Yeah. So in any case, all my love to my Presbyterian friends out there. It's all good. It's all good. But history is history, and mouth music wouldn't exist, I don't think, without the fact that these instruments were banned. Because what they did was they didn't stop dancing. What they didn't do was stop dancing, and that's where we're going with all this. They didn't stop dancing because you can't tell people to stop dancing. I'm sorry, you can't tell. You can't
tell people to stop dancing. You can't tell people to stop making music. And even when we're in crazy situations like this, when really our health and our lives depend on it, you can't tell people to stop making music and finding joy in whatever you can.
That's right. There. Thanks for bringing it around, Henry. Thank you for that.
I always say that music is the vaccine for despair.
Amen. Amen. Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Are
we going to turn this into a Pentecostal gathering here?
No,
I think we should start laying on the hands, or I don't know.
No, I also say that chocolate and peanut butter are disgusting together. That's my other deep thought.
Wow. Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
You are from East Farthing, though, aren't you? Okay.
What do you got?
I have some weird ideas up in the East Farthing. The best. Oh my God. All right, let's just play some tunes. We're getting out of control here, guys.
What's with the Scottish tunes? We've been talking about Scotland.
Well, we just did some Scottish tunes, and we did some mouth music on top of that. So we did Ochtenhouse, we did Brunley.
Why don't you play something Scottish for the
you want me to please? I think we should do some more hornpipes or jigs or something like that.
Sure thing.
How about Blue Bonnets Over the Border?
Perfect.
Yes. All right, good. So this is a great example of Scottish marches that actually turned into jigs, as well as Irish marches that turned into jigs, because we're doing the Leslie's March.
Yes.
So there's a tricky thing about marches, that they can be jigs. So don't ask me exactly why. I'll tell you more about that in my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, you can look that up. All the history of jigs and marches and how they get confused. So basically, a jig is a march that's sped up, right? I mean, like, let's be real. See, you're going, I'm marching, here I am.
Don't step on your glass.
I'm marching in place. And then right? So that's the long and short of it. Is that basically it's just a matter of speed. You know, if you speed up a march, it can easily turn into a jig. That's what we're gonna do.
If you speed up a jig, your hand falls off.
Yeah, that's right.
I can only do so much of this.
You can only, yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right. You can't really go. You can only do so much. Physical limitations. So, 1, 2, 3, play. Those were 2 marches. They're both called marches. So Blue Bonnets Over the Border was the first one, which actually refers, it's a romanticized title, referring to the blue bonnets of the Jacobites. So the Jacobites wore blue bonnets with a white cockade in their cap. Blue Bonnets Over the Border was actually like a song written by Walter Scott. So it's this whole you don't want me to go into how Romanticism ruined Scottish culture, but that's my book. That's my thesis. It's how Romanticism ruined Scottish culture.
And Leslie's March actually has a really interesting history because it crosses the border between traditional and classical music. The Leslie's title, we're not quite sure where that comes from, but it was also used in a play from 1792 called Oscar and Malvina. And it was known as the Highland March from Oscar and Malvina. We don't really know which came first, but it could have been written by James Oswald, one of Scotland's most important 18th century composers, who wrote a lot of anonymous music. But this appeared in one of his collections as far as early as 1742. So it's definitely 18th century music in one form or another.
Indeed. And in fact, this other tune is also 18th century music. The problem is we just don't know where it's from. All we know is the sort of romanticized title that's been given to it. So they were doing their best. Let's put it that way. The Romantics were doing their best.
So anyone seen Outlander? Anyway.
Wee Jamie! Oh, he's not wee, is he? He's no wee Jamie. He's big Jamie. Oh, yeah, obviously.
Right.
I hear he's very popular.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere with that.
Not so wee Jamie.
That was for ratings. And the viewers of this live stream just jumped up by about,
right?
So I will sing an Irish song for you. We need to clear the air here. And this song is the unaccompanied style, or sean-nós, which means old style. This was a kind of a little bit of a pub song here. It has all of the important family values, though, are represented in this song. Let's see. We have adultery. We have attempted murder. Actual murder.
Even better. Get it done.
And home cooking.
We all love some good old home cooking.
We all love some good old home cooking. And this song, like many Irish songs, has a nonsense refrain. And I am a musicologist, and so I enjoy researching the background behind some of these traditions in music. And so I have a few theories on the nonsense refrain. Number one, it could be used by the singer as a chance to get everybody else in the room singing, which would give the singer then cover to pick up the glass and wet the whistle.
That's very likely, actually.
Right. Now, the other theory that is competing with this in my thesis for the origin of Irish nonsense refrains is the idea that the singer might have been doing a little bit too much of the raising of the wrist and the imbibation of the liquor and didn't quite remember what the next verse was.
No.
And so the nonsense refrain would give the singer a chance just to remember what came next. So this has a very complicated Gaelic refrain. It's easy to pick up, and it goes. The words are "To me rightful tour a laddie, to me rightful tour a lee." To me rightful tour a laddie, to me rightful tour a lee. Yes. And the tune to that, again, very, very, very beautiful melody. It's ancient. I believe it's 18th century in origin. And it goes, to me rightful tour a laddie, to me rightful tour a lee. Let's try that all together. Everybody at home, sing on! To me rightful tour a laddie, to me rightful tour a lee. Lovely, lovely. Professional quality work. Okay. See if I can remember all the verses. This is called the Old Woman from Wexford, and try to keep track of all the family values here, because it really is. It's don't worry. It's a nice, clean song. It's suitable for all ages. Well,
is it suitable for?
No, it's not.
Take that back.
All ages who go to the Irish pub on Sunday afternoons in Salem, Massachusetts. Here's to O'Neill's.
Okay.
Well, there was an old woman from Wexford, in Wexford town did dwell. She loved her husband dearly, but another man twice as well. With me rightful tour a laddie, with me rightful tour a lee. So she went unto a doctor, some medicine for to find, saying, Doctor, give me something that will make me old man blind. With me rightful tour a laddie, and with me rightful tour a lee. Well, feed him eggs and marrowbones, and make him sup them all, and not so very long after that he will not see at all. With me rightful tour a laddie, with me rightful tour a lee. So she made him eggs and marrow-bones, and made him sup them all. And not so very long after that, he could not see the wall. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, with me rightful toor-a-lee. Oh, I think I'll go and drown myself, but that should be a sin. She said, I'll go with along with you and help to push you in. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, with me rightful toor-a-lee. The old woman, she went back a bit to get a running go. The old men blithely stepped aside, and she went in below. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, with me rightful toor-a-lee. Well, she swam and swam and swam and swam till she got to the other brim. The old man took a long, large pole and pushed her further in. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, with me rightful toor-a-lee. So eggs are eggs and marrow-bones, they'll make your old man blind. But if you wish to drown him, you must creep up close behind. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, and with me rightful toor-a-lee. With me rightful toor-a-laddie, and with me rightful toor-a-lee. All right. All right, did we catch all the family values?
I don't know, the last one was a little bit lost on me.
Oh, which one was that?
I can't remember.
The home cooking?
Home cooking.
Yeah, it was the eggs and the marrow.
Oh, the eggs and the marrow bun. That's right. That's right. Eggs and marrow bun. Is that really make you blind?
Look, when's the last time you took cooking advice from a song? Well, Christmas in Carrick has a great pudding recipe in the second verse.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, it's lovely, lovely stuff.
We did that with Holly and Haggis last Christmas.
That's right.
It was a beautiful concert. I love the Holly and the Haggis. It's not the right time for the Holly and the Haggis, is it?
Yeah, but with the Holly and the Haggis, then you get those spines in your mouth.
It's not great together. Actually, I don't recommend it. But
Change.
when they were both full grown. Have you ever grown a haggis before?
I've only diminished one.
That's the only way to do it.
Oh,
All right.
God, yes. I miss haggis.
I do too. All right, so are we gonna do Diamond and New
I
Riggit?
think that's a lovely idea.
Let's do Diamond and New Riggit. I'm gonna need a little help from my friend over here. Oops! Oh no! This one. Oh, fine. My friend's right here in my pocket.
Your brain.
My brains.
Yeah.
In my pocket.
Yeah. See, this is where we are right now. We keep our brains in our pockets.
It's a sad state of affairs, friends. It's a sad state of affairs. Oh, I need to turn off airplane mode. There we go. Okay, good.
Well, that's what I miss about. I just lost my mother's cousin Kurt. He was 89 years old, and he was a learned man, and that's something when I was a child, I always aspired to be when I grew up a learned man, just somebody who knew things, and now what we learn is where to Google what we need to know.
It's true.
But not me.
No, that's good.
I resist.
Well, I know all the Gaelic songs in my head. It's just these English ones.
Yeah, and an accordion player friend of mine named Mike Duggar knew over 1,500 tunes.
Wow.
Here.
Right. Well, that's my new quarantine goal. Is to learn a tune a day.
Yes. Well, see, years ago I made a deal with a flute player from Chattanooga. I said, you know what, next time, I'm going to see you a year from now, next time I'm going to learn 52 tunes.
52. You didn't say 365?
No, I said one a week. That's
a week.
reasonable.
That's good. That's reasonable. That's actually a lot more reasonable than daily, isn't it?
Yeah. And I saw him next year. And of course, life got in the way, and work and harpsichord playing and all that stuff. But he showed up there, and he did.
He had 52 tunes.
He did. He played them all for me. Not in a row.
So he kept up his end of the bargain.
Yes, and he was very disappointed in me. So
and
Ken Duvio, I'm sorry.
There you go. Sorry, bud. All right. I'm sure you can ask forgiveness for that. And
I will.
Yeah. Okay, good. Tim's awful. See,
It's nice to have a priest in the room.
I was going to say we have a priest in the room, so y'all are good to go. Wow, that's the most public confession ever. All right. So, the diamond is a ship me, lads. We're going to do a really politically incorrect song about. It's historical, so we do not endorse fishing whales. We don't endorse this, okay? It's not something we're not into it. We don't think it's a good idea, but this is a part of history. This was actually a big part of the Scottish economy for a while. was whale oil, because they use it for the lamps and all that. You know?
I know. I saw Star Trek 4.
Star Trek. There's a lot of Star Trek references today. One of my friends was like, I'm going to watch all of the Star Trek, like Next Generation with Captain Picard, because everybody's got a crush on Captain Picard. If I could only be that sexy when I was that old. I mean, my goodness. I mean, I even got the hair. I was going to say, I'm impressed with the guy. Like there's people in there, you know, very, very not old ages who are into him. They're like into this guy, and he's like in his. What I'm trying to say is that there's hope for me. That's all I'm going to say. There's hope for me. Okay, moving on. D minor.
Yes.
Let's do D minor. Can you give me a nice D minor chord, please, sir? I don't like that inversion. Can we just do opens? I think I like that one better. Thanks. Too many F's in there. All right. We tune because we care.
I tune because I'm embarrassed when I'm out of tune.
There you go. Oh, it's cheer up, me lads. Let your hearts never fail. For the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. Oh, the Diamond is a ship, me lads. For Davis Strait we're bound, and the quay it is all garnished with the bonny lassies round. Captain Thompson gave the orders to sail the ocean wide, for the sun it never sets, me lads, and darkness fills the skies. So it's cheer up, me lads, let your hearts never fail, for the doughty ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. Oh, on the quay at Peterhead, the lassies thundering, with their shoals all put about them and their sulkies running down. Oh, don't you weep, my bonny lass, though ye be left behind, for the rose will grow on Maidman's ice before we change our mind. For it's cheer up, me lads, let me heart never fail, for the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. Oh, here's a health to the Resolution, likewise the Liza Swan. 3 cheers to the Battler of Montrose and the Diamond ship of none. Oh, you wear the trousers of the white and the jackets of the blue. When we get back to Peterhead, we'll have sweethearts anew. Oh, it's cheer up, me lads, let your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing in the whale. What? Oh, it'll be bricht both the day and night, when the Greenland lads come home. Our ship full with oil, me lads, and money to our name. Oh, we'll make the trade and sport it up, and that it's for the tape. And every lass in Peterhead sing hush-a-bye in the ear. For it's cheer up, me lads, and the hearts never fail, for the bonny ship, the Diamond, goes a-fishing for the whale. For it's cheer up, me lads, let your hearts never fail, let the bonny ship, the Diamond, go a-fishing for the whale.
you so much.
Thanks a lot, yeah.
Wow, the last time we played for an audience this small.
You know what? They have enough enthusiasm
That's right. That's
for
right.
a crowd of
You make it up.
300.
So we'll take you out with one more set of tunes. Before we do that, just again, thank you very much for tuning in.
Yes,
This
thank
is, I'm
Really
afraid, just the beginning of some really troubling times for those who have devoted their lives to enriching not only the community, but just the world, the cultural landscape with their time and their talent. This is not a profession that is full of people seeking fame and fortune. This is a community of people that are dedicated to sharing their art because it's a calling, because it's a power that we can't resist, sometimes at great personal cost, to be able to bring richness, fullness, depth of human emotion to life through our art, whether it's traditional music or sacred music or just getting together and making songs that bridge the space between people. That's what this is all about. We're very grateful to everyone who is supporting not just us, but all artists in need. There are some great resources in Seattle available. Just look up some of these COVID-19 responses. It's just the community coming together to help out those whose livelihoods have been impacted. Again, in this small community right here, look down in the comment section. There are ways to donate directly to Brandon and to myself for this. We appreciate you tuning in. We're grateful for your support, and we want to give back as much as we can. We try to give back in every day of our work, and right now we're asking you to help us as well. Thank you so much. Maid behind the bear?
Maybe behind the bar? Oh, I like the maid behind the bar. She's real cute.
One of those.
Notice how you always tune up? Everybody says, why don't you tune that down?
Well, you're the one who says that bouzouki players are always sharp.
That's right. I stand by it. I stand by it.
you. Good night. Oh.
Maybe just for you guys.
Something sweet.
Something sweet. How about Josephine's?
Oh, there's
G?
Yeah. Bouzouki.
Okay. You know that one, right?
I do.
Good.
Swedish tune.
It's a nice Swedish tune. Everybody's playing Josephine's these days because you know why? Because it's one of those tunes. One of those tunes that it's just really beautiful.
I learned it from Shira Kamen in the Bay Area back in I think 2002 or something like that. That was one of my favorite tunes. She's doing Noonday Tune Day or something along those lines these days, and trying to get people together virtually online and just play a tune every day on whatever instrument they have.
That's wonderful. What a wonderful thing. See, we're all doing what we can in this weird time.
Yeah.
So, but you know what's not changed is music and joy and what music has to offer. So here we are. Here we are. All right. G. 2, 3, 1, 2.
Mr. Brandon Vance, all the way from Seattle.
It's a long ways, you know. It's a whole 30 minutes, I believe.
It's even longer to Tipperary.
That's what they say. It's a long way from here to Clare, too. Or is it Clare to here? Gets longer by the day?
Check your phone.
Make it. Wait, we slept in, didn't make it to Mass. I believe that's the other part of that.
That's just it's Sunday. I mean, it's the fourth Sunday in Lent. I'm just without playing the organ in church. I'm just like a ship without sails. I'm just adrift.
A rudder or sails.
No, we don't do much John Rudder. We're more into like.
Sorry for the really, really nerdy jokes. Actually, you know what? Let's not apologize.
No.
We
don't
own our
apologize.
nerdiness.
Yes, we wear it like a big
Badge of something.
yellow star.
Oh, not myself, but yes, somebody else. That got dark real quick.
That would
Okay.
be my people. Oy vey. Okay.
Henry, this guy right here.
What?
I can't. Wait, sorry, I can't. I want to give him a hug, but I can't. This is awkward.
I don't like hugs on the best of times.
That's right. It's right. This guy is the perfect candidate. His name is Henry Lebedinsky, and he's an amazing harpsichordist, and obviously plays all of these in an amazing way. So thank you.
And we're grateful for all your help, and we're so happy to be able to share this music with you. Have a lovely night. We will see you again. Thank you.